I want to tell you a story. Yeah, it's not a pleasant one. And it's kind of scary. This is a cautionary tale. I'm telling you this so you can avoid making the same mistake that I did. This is the story of the tortured hat. It started like any other hat making process. But it didn't end like any hat making process. But I suppose we've kind of got to start at the beginning. The first one was easy. And I tried to make something simple, but then show how to make something a little bit more advanced. But I just didn't listen. And it all went wrong. But this is the footage. I think someone's here. This is the footage. Hi everybody, back at you with another video, and today we are going to be using the humble placemat to make 2 headpieces. Because we're in lockdown and we've got nothing else and deliveries are taking forever to get to us. To all my regular viewers, welcome back, and to those that are joining for the first time, my name is John of JWH Millinery, and make sure you subscribe, hit that like button down below and turn on notifications to be notified when I release videos in future. So let's crack on and show you the first one. This first one is very easy. We're just going to be using 3 materials. So we have the humble table mat, we have this is like an organza, it's like a crystal organza, it's a polyester style organza. So I have like, say, not half a metre, maybe 30 centimetres of that, just the full length, and a metre of veiling. So this is like a pink veiling with a red chenille spot. While coping during lockdown, so I'm currently in Australia, and while we're not officially locked down, we've been told to socially distance, and there's no hairdressers, and I desperately need a haircut. Like, this is just there's like too much hair. There's hair everywhere. I was thinking of dyeing it, so I don't know. We'll see. Right, so to start, we'll put this to one side, and we'll also put the table mat to one side. And this is, like I said, like a navy blue, like a crystal chiffon, but it's like a polyester chiffon. And all we're going to do is we're going to be making something along the lines of like a gathered bow. You're not going to see the middle of the bow, so I just kind of want to show you what it's going to kind of look like. So it's going to look similar to this, and this is going to sit on the center of the mat like this, similar to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to gather this. Now please don't judge me, because obviously even though we're not officially in lockdown, we are isolating, so I don't have a navy thread, so I have the closest colour I have, and all we're going to do is we're going to find the centre, and we're just going to put a running stitch, catch in, say maybe every 5/8 of an inch, you know, because you want to keep the pleats even. So maybe this is going to take a while. So I'm just going to fast forward through this. Okay, so now, because of all your sort of pleating, it should turn out like this. Because of the length that we used, it's kind of gathered, and actually I think I'm going to slightly change the design of this because of how it's actually turned out. So this is the edge we've been working on, so I'm going to turn that over, and actually what that does, it hides ends like this. So your raw edges, you can't see where they are, because obviously because of all the pleats. So that's I've kept the thread in as well. So, and that's just at the center of the bottom. So there's your there's your flower. You want to take your head. So let's put it there. And first of all, you want to kind of play around with how do you want your shape to sit. I'm kind of liking this sort of effect, I think. So what I will then do is pin that into place, and again at the back here, because I've got another kind of tuck there, so I'll pin that into place. That is perfect. And then we're going to try and find a nice position for this. Ideally one that hides so let's have a look. So, and just arrange the flowers how you see fit. And once again, tucking away any of those raw edges. So now we know our position of that, we need to then look at our veiling. So part of me wants to put it around the face. Let's see what no, just give her a bit of a pleat. And just hold them together. What if we put that underneath here? And now let's see what that looks like. What are we thinking? I kind of like that. That's kind of the positioning that we want. So take off, so we know the positions, so we know we need to put it just above where this pin is here. I'm just gonna arrange those pleats a bit better now. And if it, it actually, what we can do is we can actually move some of the veiling into this section here, so it's got more of a, you can see more of the pink, so it's going to be quite blue heavy, so this will just help balance those colours out. And then using, so we'll just take that pin out because we know where this is going to go now, is we're going to put the centre of it on top of this, so we know where our stitch point is, and just pull that into place, and just secure it with just going back through the centre of that flower again, just making sure, where's the needle gone? That's there. And then back through to the back and tie your thread off. There you go, a quick and easy headpiece. Not the most technically minded of headpieces, but it's still quite visually stunning. And then all you would want to do is just make sure, for example, here we have a tuck here, so you would want to sew down all your pleats at the back here. We've put like a tuck, and then just attach this to a headband of some description, and ready to go. So that's the first one, and then now we're going to move on to the one that's a little bit more technically advanced. Little did he know it was about to go weird. For this next one, I have, once again, my trusty table mat. I have this is some sequin fabric in a palm print, which we're going to use. We have some silk abaca, some millinery wire, so this is covered millinery wire, and this is like the soft version. I think this is 0.4, could be wrong. Looks like 0.4. And we also have this, which is actually a offcut of a table mat that I actually pre-used in my Neon Dreams headpiece. This is just like the edging, and all I did was just start at one end and roll that round to make a flower. So what I'll do is we'll go through this when it comes to the decorations house, so I'm glad I've undone that, and that's kind of what we're going to be making. So let's crack on. Okay, so this one we're going to start once again with the table mat, but we're actually going to wire it with some covered millinery wire. So I'm going to crack out the sewing machine. You can do this by hand, but as this is a tutorial, I am actually just going to crack out the sewing machine. was at this point he should have realised that things were about to take a turn. He couldn't even work this sewing machine. Time after time he tried, and it just wasn't working. He should have just give up. He should have just give up and turned this hat into something else. But no, he decided he wanted to go along with it and was determined to get this machine working. But that was a disaster, and that was a mistake, to the point he even forgot to tell you he'd wired the brim for the next section. Take your silk backer, and what I've already done is I've cut it down the middle and just joined it at the like two ends together, just like that. Just sewed down the middle and just gathered it together to give it just extends your abacus really. Then so obviously on this tail mat we have a turnover here, so this is going to be the front. What we're going to do is we're going to pin that join of the abacus into place and just start looking at what can we do. It's a very similar technique to the 80s hat that I made. So obviously just making sure you tuck away your edges just like that, and what we're going to do I'm going to do is take one of these long edges and find pretty much the centre back, which is here. So turn it over a couple of times, just hide that edge here and just pin that into place. And just go around until I hit maybe about 6 inches from the join, because the join we're going to hide in the middle, so we need to figure out roughly where that's going to go. So let's just quickly pin that into place. While you're doing this, you want to make sure you keep the amount that you tuck across this side kind of even, so that it looks a little bit more, neater. What you now want to do is go around and stitch all along around this edge using a stitch which is not visible. However, like I said in the previous one, I don't have the correct thread, so I'm going to go with the closest one I've got and stitch this down. So as you can see, we've got all this stitched around the edges. This isn't stitched down in the middle yet, but that's fine. We don't have to worry about that. What we're now going to do is just look at this edge, because the reason why we wired it is so we can actually adjust it and give it some dimension on the edges like that. And you can see that. So you can give it some sort of dimension, but we'll do that. We're gonna do that later. We need to work out what we're going to do with this kind of excess here. One thing I was thinking of doing was turning it under in places and just having it kind of scallop along, so just like that, and then having it come in there so it gives it a nice scallop edge, just like that. Okay, so we have our complete brim, and I've actually just gone ahead and sewn it down in the middle, and we've got our edging, so this is going to form into a flower like this, and I've already gone ahead and I've cut out all my sequin palm leaves. So first of all, where's my thread gone? Here we go. We're going to just put a knot in there, even though the colours don't match, I know. And you will see exactly what it was just the edging from another table that I used in my Neon Dreams live stream, so I'll link that in the card here or there. Just go around and I just stitch it, just a loose stitch, and just play with it slightly. And as you're going around, you want it to, you can either do it flat like this, or you can dome it ever so slightly. I'm going to do mine a bit flatter. And in fact, I'm probably going to do it a bit more so it's in the center like this. What we're going to do is we're going to sew this into the center, and we're going to come up from the underneath through, and we're going to catch onto some of this and then back through. Next thing we're going to do before we add these, we're going to shape the hat, sorry. So let me zoom out. So we're going to start shaping the hat. So we know we want to bring in the centers, but do we want it like that, or do we want to bring it in like that? And then I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like that because it's got a bit of loop here. Don't know what we're gonna do. So let's just stitch that down. So this is where I've got the pins here to hold that into place. Seeing is about, unless you have a clear idea on what you're doing, you know, I always find millinery is quite therapeutic because you can just play with things and just see what happens. Like, you know, sometimes when I do these videos, I've got a clear idea in mind, and you know, I managed to achieve that. And then sometimes you don't quite know what you're going to do, how it's going to turn out, and you just see what happens. Right, so I've had a bit of a play, and this is kind of the look that I wanted to go for. And now we're going to just place these and just see how they look. So let's really put one there and just pin them, just put a pin in just to see how they look. So then we'll put another one there. What do you think? I'm not too sure. I think it looks a little overworked. I'm going to play with this and see what I think. And this is what we have decided to come up with. So I still think it looks a little overworked. It's probably maybe not one of my finest pieces, but it's a piece. Would I do, if I was to do this again, what would I do? I would probably not scallop these edges. I would probably just bind them with just maybe a centimetre on either side of the back instead of going the way I did. But I like the look. I might actually off camera just take this apart and actually redo this. Make it look a lot better, I think. I think this is the first time we've had a fail on this channel, so you know, everybody has fails. Well, like I said, yeah, I think this is the first time we have a fail on this channel, but definitely look for me on Instagram. I will definitely be posting a picture of this once I've redone this. And yeah, I mean, she's cute, just not, she's just overworked. She's just overworked. Thank you everybody for watching and seeing me struggle with this. I thought it was going to be easy, didn't turn out to be easy. Make sure you check out my Patreon. It is linked down in the description box below, and all my social media, links to everything that I've purchased will all be in the description box below. Remember, I have classes, so those are on my website, www.jwhmillinery.com/classes. I have different classes for different things, so just check them out. Like always, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.